Welcome to Wigglesticks TV. So in this episode we're going to look at refurbishing some of the parts we have turned up over the last couple of weeks. Some CFM Motorsports, which is Woodcraft resets. These have been used and have probably been scraped on the odd occasion, but they've just got a bit of black overspray for spray paint on there, so they should clean up. Pretty nicely, I think. We've also got a Graves starter gear cover, which also just has a little bit of spray paint that needs to get cleaned off. And then this is the other handlebar, which. So I made a bit of a decision the other day once I was cleaning up those other clip-ons, and that was to not worry about fixing that other clip-on and grab some aftermarket clip-ons. So we've gone with the Woodcraft clip-ons. Oh, my cat's in the way, get out. Yeah, we've gone for some Woodcraft clip-ons, which is a really nice billet piece of aluminium. And they should last quite well and also look quite nice. So yeah, this is the left hand side one. So I've already put one on just as a little test fit. It came up quite nicely, I think, so it's just loosely finger tighted in there at the moment. But yeah, it should, I think it looks quite nice in there, so I'll figure out the exact spacing and stuff like that as we come around. But yeah, another little piece of the puzzle, and just a quick fit at the moment. So today I'm going to give a test out of the little soda blasting box thing that I made up. It's just a plastic container with some plastic sort of pop riveter to try to keep as much of the spray contained, much of the soda as contained inside a container. I mean, some will still escape obviously, but without having a proper soda blasting cabinet kind of thing, this is pretty much a little makeshift solution that I think will save a bit of soda, and then will also be just a little bit easier to do kind of smaller parts in. So I'm going to fire up the compressor shortly and just test probably that Graves. Move this inside because it's extremely windy today, but yeah, it actually worked pretty well. Still a fair bit of the dust and stuff escaped of the baking soda, but generally it started to catch a lot more than I would normally catch, which is great. So yeah, I think it was a win. The good thing is that I can now reuse that baking soda. And as you can see, the cover actually came up quite nicely. Pretty much knew that was going to happen because it only had spray paint on there anyway, so it wasn't terribly difficult for the baking soda to get that off. But yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. It'll polish up quite nicely, and our little makeshift soda booth will be useful going forward. So yeah, back to it. Back here today testing a new mic setup, and then we're also going to disassemble these rear sets so that we can clean them up and soda blast them. So of course that's the wrong screw. So you need an Allen key at the back and then two smaller Allen keys here. Seen better days. Really like these Silka tools, they're very handy and really nice quality. It's mainly these parts that we wanted to clean up with the paint on them, so they'll come up quite well soda blasting. And take this little so we're back in to have a look at the other side. I'll try a different mic position with the shotgun mic again above my head, so we'll see how that goes. So we're just going to take this one apart, so it's pretty simple. The shift mechanism, 3 bolts, and the other one from the other side, same as the other side. It's been a while since these have actually come out yet. Well, it took quite a bit of force to get out. It looks like it's actually part of the thread is coming out, but see, we've got the resets pulled apart, all ready to clean and soda blast. So now we'll just get cracking on that one. So we're just having a go with the aluminium cleaner on one of the reset parts. So had it in there soaking for a few minutes now. Just putting my gloves back on, and then we will see how it goes in the cleaning process. The other stuff came out really well, so we'll give this one a go, and you can see it's already brightening. It's even starting to dissolve the paint, so just like kitchen sponge, and then second every more. See how the paint's come through. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how these actually turned out. From what they were to what they are now, they're in as good a shape as they're going to get. The right hand side is in much better condition than the left hand side, which has probably been crashed at some point, but I will endeavour to clean this up a little bit with the linisher or a file or a Dremel or a combination of all those things. Yeah, I think I will end up getting another set of these foot pegs, just because this one's a bit chewed up. This one's not too bad, but if I'm getting one I may as well get the other one. These can just be spares. Everything cleaned up pretty well, so I'll start to go putting it all back together and yeah, get it on the bike. So back having a look at the next part of the footrest mechanism, which is the shift rod and associated hardware. So this stuff up the end should clean up pretty well, but we have a slight problem when we get to this end. The part that goes into the footrest is that it's a little bit bent. So it looks like there's a bend in the rod itself, but then it also looks like there's a bend in the end of this connecting piece here. So we'll have a go at cleaning it up and then see if we need to replace either the rod or this mechanism at the end here. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to actually straighten this out. The rod, which I showed you before, has a little bit of a kink in it. which I think that will be fairly easy to straighten. It's more, probably just put a bit of heat into it and then put it into the vise and bend it. Yeah, it's probably the way to go. I just don't want to damage the little ball bearing pivot kind of part in the middle of it, so it's a bit hard. Oh yeah, so we'll just try a few different ways with that. So we also finished up the shift rod. It's all cleaned up. It's straight, but the problem I have is that now this little part of the end piece here you actually won't pivot inside the thing anymore. Yeah, it won't pivot inside the end of that. I forget what it's called. So I'm going to buy another one of these, because you can get a whole, they don't sell this piece separately, they sell it with the whole footrest, which I don't really need. So yeah, straight, but I will need to fix that because there's actually no movement in it at all, which is a bit of a shame, but what can you do? So here's the rear sets on the right hand side. Just need to get the little plug. These are only finger tighted in there. I haven't tightened the foot peg in there yet, but yeah, they came up pretty well. And then the ones on the other side. And the ones on the left hand side, the gear shift lever. So yeah, I think it was a successful little project. Everything tidied up quite well. So yeah, on to the next little part of it. The other project that I'll have a bit of a go at today is I might try and mount this radiator, just because it's kind of in the way. It's probably safer sitting in the frame rather than just kicking around the shop or around the workshop. I will probably plug this in to see if this fan actually works. I have another fan as well, but we'll just see. This one has a weird overspray finish on it, so I might try and just clean some of that stuff off and then try not to cut our fingers off, but we'll just do a quick test. So yeah, we have two working fans, which is good. So I had a bit of a look at the other radiator, and it's actually, I think, in better condition than this one. So I've taken this better fan off the other radiator, fan. I'm going to fit that back to the one I just cleaned. It came out pretty good. So we'll put all that back together, and then I'm just going to harvest all the rubber pieces and screws that I have on this radiator. So we got the radiator all back together. I haven't put this thermostat thing in yet because I forgot about it, but I will change that shortly. So everything else is, I've got the fan fixed up in there. I probably should just see that it all goes back together the way it should. So I'll just connect it up to the battery again. Make sure it all still spins. Oops, sorry about knocking the camera there. And fingers crossed. So just thought I'd do a little update of where we're at with the build so far. Front brakes are in, we have the radiator in place, a couple of the hoses loosely run, we have rear sets in, carbon fiber protectors in, we have the clip-ons just loosely installed. This fairing stay bracket needs to be modified because you can see it's a little bit bent there, but we have the steering dampener in. Have the clocks mounted with the custom clock bike bracket, and yeah, I think we're about to start moving on to the electronics part of it, really just to see how we start to run everything in, and then we will go from there. So it's sort of edging closer, I guess, to being a rolling chassis. COVID really is playing a little bit of a hassle with me being able to do much more work on this because the swing arm is located in another part of the state that I can't get to yet, just because of the stage 4 restrictions, and similarly with the engine is in a different state, which I won't be able to get to until these COVID restrictions ease. So I might start just popping in or dropping in the rectifier regulator, the electronics controlling unit, and then I'll start mounting some of the other harness and everything after I clean it up, and then we can start to see if we can get power and stuff into the dash, and start working on mounting up a custom starter button relay thing up the top. So yeah, getting there.